being enough or working on being enough, it's a little bit like a lifelong journey because you're going to feel like you're on a new level and then there's a next level to climb up. So don't feel bad if you have moments of where you feel like you're struggling a little bit with the subject. It's like what matters is that we're on a journey, we're moving forward. Personal growth or personal development is not an event, it's a journey, it's a process. And so as long as we're moving ourselves forward, we're good. So this week we're going to focus on what do we want and how can we bring these things into our lives. And all the coaches are going to talk about it in their particular way. We're going to talk about love and relationships and intentions and methods and different ways to bring things into our life. What I'd like you to do is, in order to get this process going, we're going to sort of set some parameters. And probably by now you've known that I'm kind of like structure, and it's easier for me to move myself forwards in this process if I have a structure. So I'm going to give you a structure, and then I'm going to challenge all of us that we use this structure and actually fill it out and post it on in the Facebook group, and so that we can all see what we're doing. So I'm going to ask Clementine to put up one slide, and I'm going to explain to you the purpose of the slide and how we're going to use the slide. And the slide's called the Wheel of Life. Probably a few of you have used this before. I think it was created by the Coaches Training Institute, which has been around for about 30 years. And the tool was really used to really help us figure out and focus on what do we want. So what do you see here? We have a pie chart, and in the pie chart we have divided the pie into 8 different areas, and the areas are representing different parts of your life. Now I know it's not so segmented, it's like we don't really just have this slice and this slice, but in order for us to kind of get some idea in terms of what we want and where we want to focus on, we use this tool. In my wheel of life, you can see that I have 7 areas, and then I have one other. And these are generally speaking the areas in our life that we deal with. So if I start on the right-hand side on the topic, we have career or business or job. Some of us, we work in a career and we might want different things in our careers. I might want to make more money, or maybe I want to grow my business, or, maybe I don't like my job altogether. And so I want to have a new job. And by the way, as I'm speaking, I want you to really allow yourself to start thinking about what is it that I want? What are the physical things that I want? What are the maybe emotional things that I want? How would I like to feel, maybe differently inside of me? So really allow yourself to think. For those of you who have children, the children just, say, I want, my son says, I want you to buy me a plane for my birthday. They just say what they want, and they have no restriction. Okay, so career, business, job. What is it that you want in that category? Money. Money is a special category because a lot of the issues that we are dealing with have to do with either love or money. So we give it a special category. Where are you with your money? Would you like to have more money? Would you like to do different things with your money? Would you like to maybe contribute more and be more charitable? Friends and family. And if you want to, you can separate that category into 2 categories, where you have half of the category be friends, and the other half of the category your family. What would you like to have in your family? A lot of us, we use these tools, and we think about what we want, and we think about it in terms of business and maybe health and wealth, but we don't so often allow ourselves to really think about what is it that I want in my relationship. Maybe I want to have more intimacy. Maybe I want to be able to share with my partner more openly. Maybe I want to have more, more hugging, or maybe I want us to spend more time together. So really allow yourself to also think about those kind of things. Then we have health. What is it that you would want in the health category? Like for myself, for instance, I really want to go back to being able to run, and I want to feel strong, and I want to have a lot of energy, and wake up in the morning and go 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 go. So those are some of the things that I want. We have personal growth and spirituality. For some of you, this might include religion. I would say this morning community is definitely part of the personal growth category. I want to develop myself. Maybe these days what I'm working on are, I like to always speak kind words. And when I talk about people, I want to talk about them in good ways, so that I can energetically contribute to them, whether they know it or not, and then I can enrich myself. So those are, things that are all in the personal growth category. And then we have fun and recreation. If you're from Germany, probably you're not doing so much fun and recreation. I'm kidding. But like the volleyball game that Krasimir and Clementine just talked about, it's like, what is it that you want in that area? How could you have more fun? How could you feel, that you can really enjoy and take some time off and, have a good time and, recreate or re-energize yourself, relax. And then we have another category, and the other category is for you to fill in. I usually suggest that in this category we put being of service, or maybe it's your community. How do you want to serve? How do you want to contribute? Okay, so I'm going to give you a moment to rate those categories. What I'd like you to do is I want you to think about these categories in your life and rate them on a level from 0 to 10. 0 meaning, wow, I'm really not very satisfied in this area. And 10 meaning, wow, I am so incredibly satisfied in this area. I'm really fantastic. I'm doing great. And, I don't really know what would be next for me. So just take a moment, and you can sort of draw a line in the wedges and kind of see where you are. And sometimes it's easier to put a number because we're not so good with drawing the lines. And so as you quickly move yourself around the wheel, it should take no longer than 10 seconds, because it's like it's your initial response. Don't think about it too long. Where am I in my career? 7, boom, put it down. Money, 5. Okay. So I'll give you a moment to do it. And then once we have filled this out, you can kind of decide where do I want to focus on. Usually we have wants in all these different areas, but what's like most pressing? And I can say, I'd like to have a house. It's my physical environment, and I would like to have more clients. That's my career and my business, and I certainly would like to have more money. But then when I, move myself around the wheel, I kind of look at, my health. And I can say, oh, that is like the most important thing for me right now, where I would like to improve my health, and so that I can have the energy, to get work on some of these other things. Okay, so let's talk about what do we want. Okay, I was waiting for some of you to shout it out. So as you're sitting with yourself, like really allow yourself to talk out loud. It's like, what is it that I want? Even Clementine, if you want to participate, we can take the slide down. Like, what are some of the things that we want? We want to have more money, right? We want to have more peace of mind. We want to have. I want to have a house. I want to travel again. Clementine, what are some of the things that you want?
I also want to have a home with garden. He's not really agree with this.
It's too much rent.
I want to I want to travel. And one thing also I want for myself is to be able to be more free to express myself in general.
Like
more
internally.
Clarity. Yeah, to express myself outside, but that, more clarity inside.
Okay, awesome. Great. Those are really good goals. So, by the way, when you're doing this exercise, this is a great exercise to do with your buddy, so that you get together and you talk to each other and you say, "Wow, this is what I want. I want to have a house with a garden, or I want to be thin." By the way, another thing that's really important is when you are start to formulate your goals, do it in a positive way. I was just about to tell you, I like to lose weight. So the goal to actually, if you want to formulate it in a way that will work for you better, is to say, I want to be thin, or I want to be strong, or I want to be vital. Okay, because the basic self, the part of ourselves that supplies us with energy, we have a hard time dealing with double negatives. So, losing weight or not being heavy, it's like a double negative. And so what I end up with is just the heavy part. Okay, so I have exactly 20 minutes to tell you about figuring out what we want and how can we get it. And remember, when I'm talking to a 3-year-old, it takes them about 1 second to figure out what they want and how can they get it. And if we just had this, Julia just wanted something, and Casimir, you brought it to her, and then as soon as you brought it to her, she decided, no, I don't want that. I want something else. So, again, children have no issues in expressing themselves and telling us what they want. Okay, so let's say I have a goal and I've phrased it in a positive way. And I'm going to give you a personal example. I want to be thin. And thin, I'm using this as a term. I have a particular idea. I want to be fit and healthy and, weigh 52 kilos by the end of June. Now, before I actually move into coming up with my plan, I want to spend a moment to think about what is my intention around this. Okay. Because the intention is something that drives me. It's like, an infusion of energy. It's like a directional quality. It's not like a goal. An intention is a quality, something that I want to experience. And why is this important? Is because we want to get all parts of ourselves involved, all of us. I don't want just to have my thinking mind involved, and I'm pointing up here because I think this is where it is, but I want to have my heart involved. I want to have my gut involved, because this is how I'm going to be most likely be able to succeed in accomplishing my goal. So, what is my intention? My intention is I want to wake up in the morning. I want to feel healthy and vital. I want to feel strong, and I want to be full of energy. That is my intention. This is what I want to experience. Now, I'm thinking that one of my goals to get this is to weigh 52 pounds. Okay, uh, I'm telling you, I'm thinking, because this is how it lives in my mind. Now, am I 100% sure of it? No, but this is what I'm going for. And by the way, you don't have to be 100% sure. If you're clear about your intention, and then you start to formulate what it is that you want, your goals, it will show up and the universe will support you. So I want to feel healthy. I want to be vital. I want to feel strong. And I have this picture in my mind that I'm getting up in the morning and I'm jumping out of bed. It's 6 o'clock and I say, yay, it's morning again and I get to get up. Wow, how exciting. Okay, so this is my intention. And then my goal underneath is to weigh 52 kilos. Now I have to take action. Okay, I'm going to have to come up with my action steps and think about what am I going to do in order to do it. So this is usually how people will go about it. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take a step back. Okay, I want you to look at what you want, and then I want you to vet it. I want you to vet it and see if it's a really good idea and if it really works for you. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I want you, and we've talked a lot about this before. We talked about the unconscious and the subconscious and our conscious mind. And if you listen to Mira, she will tell you all the time that 88% of our what we believe in and how we support ourselves is in the subconscious mind. And so we want to find a way that we can check out this want with our conscious and our subconscious mind. And so that we can really be in alignment with ourselves. And, when we've done this, we've really done all the homework that we need to do in order to move forward. Okay, so how do I check in with my conscious self? In Insight, we talk about the basic self, the conscious self, and the high self. Those are parts that are available to us. Meaning, the basic self is the part that supplies you with energy. The conscious self, it's kind of like acting in the world, and the high self is our spiritual part. So when I want to tell those parts, and I have a conversation with myself, I say, "Hey, basic self, what do you think about this goal?" And the basic self might say, "Oh, I don't know. Exercise more, getting up in the morning. I don't know how I feel about this. I really like to be in bed and I like to hit the snooze button in the morning. And I don't know about not eating chocolate and, pushing the cake away." So I want to get that part on board. My conscious self is usually on board because it's logic, and the conscious self will say, "Yeah, this is a good idea." My high self usually looks upon down and says, "Okay, Barbara, you want to be fit and healthy. Okay, go ahead. We support this idea." So having a conversation with the different parts of you is important. Really identify, why do I want this goal? How can I support myself? Now, here's a really important question for you. Who do I need to be, and how do I need to show up in order for me to support this goal? Okay. What I mean by that is, if I show up depressed, if I show up angry, if I show up frustrated, and I'm not going to have an easy time to fulfill my goal. So how I need to show up is, I need to show up strong. I need to show up with discipline. I need to show up with loving. I need to show up empathetic and kind. Because if I show up in this way, then, I am on track with fulfilling and manage to manifest my goal and the things that I want. Um, you also want to check out your feelings. What are my feelings with this goal? Uh, did I try it before? Why didn't I accomplish it? A lot of us, we have been on um, we've worked on getting in shape, and we want to feel vital and healthy. So we want to look at, did we do it before, and why didn't it work? Are there any judgments? So for me, for instance, I've been working at this for a while, and I could see that I wasn't really committed to it, and I had some judgments, and so I needed to go in and forgive myself. I forgive myself for not following through with my word, so that I can clean the slate and have a fresh start. Okay, and then last but not least, it's important that the goal is at least 50% realistic. Okay, so those are ways that we can deal with it consciously. And don't worry, I will put it in the chat, or I will send it to Casimir and Clementine, and then they could put it up in the morning community if you didn't catch up, if you didn't catch all those different questions. Now, the second important part is, how do I check in with that 88%? Some of those things that I just mentioned, they kind of get a little bit into this 88%, but not all of them. So, what do I do? How do I check this out? One of the ways to get into the 88% is to talk to your inner child. And we all have an inner child. And when you allow yourself to find some stillness, and, sometimes I put my hand on my heart, and I kind of get in touch with that childlike quality inside of me, then I can start to talk to my inner child. What is my inner child? My inner child is different than the basic self. The basic self supplies you with energy. My inner child is it's a composite of memories of the things that happened to me, good, good and bad, all of them, when I was a child. And the inner child oftentimes actually pushes us around, because it kind of lives in the subconscious, and it has needs. And when we don't attend to those needs, it can throw everything off. Like, I'm not attending to my inner child, and then my inner child says, "Oh, I don't care if you want to get fit and healthy. I want my ice cream, so I'm going to have my ice cream right now." So we want to talk to an inner child. We want to get the inner child on board and attend to it and see what the inner child needs. It's very important, because it's the gateway to get you into the subconscious. Another way that I do it in my coaching is I use muscle testing. Muscle testing is a ancient technique that's kind of like a lie detector that immediately tells you where your subconscious is. Immediately, if you make a statement and you have a goal and you want to say, "I want to be thin," the muscle test will show you if you're on board or not with it. Um, I have an app that I teach people how to muscle test. It's something that you need to practice. You can muscle test yourself. You can actually, a great goal for you guys is to, if you want to take this on for the next 3 weeks, is to learn how to muscle test, and then you can have your buddy muscle test for those of you who are in the same location. I can also send you something about it, a chapter in my book, and so that you can get some information. But muscle testing is the best way that I know how to get information about the subconscious and unconscious. And when it's misaligned, you can look at the judgments that you place on yourself around this goal, with the one that you have, which goes back to, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I don't deserve it, or maybe, I tried it before and I didn't accomplish it. So those are ways to vet your want and your goal. And it's important that you do all that, because then you have really, really, really strong want, and you have a really good support system that you created for yourself around this want, around this goal. And then you can chop it up into little pieces and decide what is it that you need to do in order to accomplish it.